Hey America, it's the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen. Welcome to Fast Track to Fascism. I'm Heather.
And I'm Krista.
And tonight we're going to talk about the death of our sovereignty. And actually, it's about last episode and how we were right.
G20 Summit met, what was it, yesterday? And the headlines for it are reading New World Order.
Most of them were like, oh, the New World Order banking system in the writings, or laying down the foundations for a New World Order economy, or whatever. But it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is it's just like, New World Order, New World Order.
Blatantly laid out.
I mean,
like, hi,
like,
New
hello,
World Order.
we're really not freaking, like,
Welcome to America.
all those people that are like, oh, you're an NWO conspiracy theorist. Like,
yeah, like...
Anyways, also something that we would like to reiterate about the media being such a threat to our education and the education of the public as we know it, and how that's not happening, and so what the media is saying. And Krista, what did you see?
A slight tone of apprehension, but more enthusiasm. They were saying that it might bring security to our economy, and they were kind of, I don't know, happy about it.
Bush was saying, you know, we're going to meet with these leaders and it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. We were talking about the creation of this for prevention. It's really just scary because the point of the matter is, and this is what a Fox News reporter said, was it's your money, life, and future that's at stake in there, and these guys are deciding it. What they're going to do is they're going to be the coordination and the supervision of our funds and of our money and of our trade and of our governments, probably, because they already do govern our government. Banks definitely control our government because they're not answerable to our government. There was also, I guess they made a congressional hearing to the Assistant Secretary of Treasury about how they were spending the money. And Kucinich goes off for like 4 hours.
The guy's name is Kashkari. Go look it up.
Kashkari, yeah. Anyways, you can't... In the 70s, they tried to do that by fucking, you know, giving money to the private sector, and then it didn't work in the 70s, and then you had the problem, like, this problem now because of that, which is actually after the creation of the Bretton Woods II.
Yeah, no, it was in 1944, and they
and it was after World War II.
They basically established the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency, and all other currencies would be compared to the U.S. dollar. Which
is the exchange rate of those currencies are compared to the dollar.
Exactly. And basically what that did was screw all the other countries, because when we fail, they all fail. So they're doing a new Bretton Woods, which kind of is fucking with me.
Well, how are you going to fix the problem if what you did the last time is how you created it and you do the same damn way?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's because they're not trying to fix the problem, and we know that. So
this is just blatantly saying we're not trying to fix it, we're trying to fuck you.
Yeah. So anyways, we wanted to talk about the way they use words like protectionism and globalism, kind of the way they use Democrat and Republican, and you can be for globalism or for protectionism or whatever, but the real argument comes down to protectionism is where you put tariffs on your, you know, imports so that it makes it more fair for the trade inside the country to go on as normal without being affected by people that can produce it cheaper. And the call for globalism is where globalization and free trade, which is, both of them can have their setbacks, but man, globalization, it's great to trade with people that can produce. Like, man, I really like German cars. You guys do a great job with the Benz, and thank you.
And you know, Chinese silk.
Yeah, I mean,
like you know, everybody has their own, you know, thing.
Specialty. I'm kind of not sure what America's is anymore.
Cotton and wheat.
Yeah, but in any case, what they do export a lot of is jobs.
Yeah.
And the reason they do that is because within the country of these businesses that started here and then go global, they can get cheaper labor, of course, and by cheaper labor you can have less of a cost to operate your business, hence more of a profit.
Exactly.
Problem is that you get cheaper labor for having people you know, doing call centers and, you know, making parts for all your crap and all your computers and doing all your manufacturing outside of the United States, and you can pay to have it imported, you know, which is going to go to your government, and you can you know, have all the money that was going to come in through jobs from people being employed at those places and businesses here go, and then you have what's left is all these can I help you? Do you want fries with that? How many people are staying in your room tonight, sir? Like, that's going to be $95 and whatever. With lodger's tax, you know, like, this is what we have left here in America. And, I mean, when it comes down to it, you talk about globalization being for growth and free trade is supposed to be for growth, but the underlying flaw in that statement is that the slowing down of the growth rate, because we no longer export goods. We've already exported our jobs. We've already exported our even our own demand for goods. I mean,
Yeah.
besides some food we get here, like cows and, you know, milk and cheese, and sure, most of our vegetables, I hope most of our vegetables come from America. A lot of them come from Mexico. It's cheaper. That's what's causing the meltdown. We have a devaluation of our dollar, and this is where we got kind of really tripped up. Because the government created these bailouts in the past that created inflation of the dollar. And what that does is it destroys the value of the dollar. Like,
inflation is devaluation.
Right.
Period.
And it's taxation on the people because it's going to cost them more to buy food. Yeah. Right. Or whatever they need, pay whatever. Anyways, so now, once we're in debt to other nations because we no longer have a GDP that's worth a shit, we're no longer exporting, and there's not really a demand for us. Now that we're in debt, because we can't pay off the debt of the money that was loaned to us by the Fed, which is the debt and slavery that we're talking. Yes, exactly. This is the debt slavery. That's 3 months of the year your income goes to the Fed in their pockets. And what's funny though is that when you're in debt and you can't pay your debt, what happens, Christa?
Well, you can't get a car without credit. You can't get a house without credit. You can't get hell, you can't get a refrigerator without credit.
Right. So what's funny is that because we are in so much debt, our credit globally looks very bad. Bad. And we thought this was really funny because globally that discredits America.
Exactly.
And that's a really good play on words. So
it's discredited America.
And basically we wanted to close with what having a World Bank system means for you, and why you do not need the government to save your ass on a crisis that they, in fact, caused.
Created, yes.
Christa, why do you not want to have a global government?
I don't want to have a global government because, wow, I really value our republic. I really value our history. I really value where I live. I really value being able to go out freely and go where I want to go and buy what I want to buy and work where I want to work. And basically it's freedom of choice, and it's that love of freedom of choice. All these reasons are why I am absolutely appalled at any world government, because world government takes away simply your freedom of choice to choose where you want to work, where you want to live, what you want to do, what cars you're going to buy, what you're getting paid, where your children go to school, how your children are educated, what you eat, how much you have to eat. No,
you know what that is? That's fascism. That's fascism. It's not a global bank, America. It's fascism, okay? And once you realize that when you listen to 2007 when Greenspan was talking on, was that PBS? Yeah, it was PBS.
Yeah, it was PBS.
And he said, oh, we're not, no, we're not accountable to, nobody can look into us. Yeah. Nobody can do anything. No government agency. He's wrong. The Congress actually has the right to. That's exactly why. Well, they're calling the Secretary of the Treasury and all them up to the board now. They're actual members of government. But Goldman Sachs. Oh my God, that's who those people are. Both of them. Having a world banking system and thinking that it's going to create a safety net for no more potential crisis, America.
Please,
it's okay, the economic crisis.
Open over and take it. Just don't take away my money.
They manage the trade.
Kill my children, but don't fuck
they
my money.
Do a tax on the poor, kind of like they do here. The rich people really don't get taxed as much, per se. They don't suffer as much from the taxes they pay as the poor do. They will probably tell you what religions are not going to be acceptable and how you probably can't talk about it because you might offend somebody. And I would just like to remind everybody that banks own our government. And they do own our government because the Federal Reserve is 12 banks that print our money and put our government into debt. And if you even think that they don't own the government, like there's... And then I'd like to let you also remind yourself that that is privately run and those are not elected people. Yeah. The Fed is not answerable to a government, and I don't think that a global centralized bank is going to be answerable to the public either, or the government.
Right on.
We love you.
We love you. Please be good.
Remember the 5th of December, guys.
But I'm afraid that I'm wrong, because I think I know what's going on.